Hey y'all, I'm Stacy Lynn and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making skillet pecan-crusted salmon with an orange ginger glaze, served on southern sauteed collards.
Stacy Lynn, savor the good life.
I'm going to start by making the orange ginger glaze. The first thing I'm going to add is a little bit of soy sauce. I'm just going to add everything right to the pan before I even turn it on. You can just mix it all together. Nothing has to go in first, second, third, fourth, whatever. Now I'm going to put a little bit of orange zest right into the pan. You don't want to get too deep because it's going to get really bitter on you. And you know, I don't have to measure this out. If you're looking for an exact recipe, then go to my website at gameandgarden.com and I'll have it posted for you. But to me, the fun of cooking is just looking at it and seeing what it needs, tasting it, seeing, just using your senses to cook. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And you can always add more later if you want to. I'm going to add a little bit of ginger. This is fresh ginger. There's just nothing like fresh ginger. So if you have powdered, you can use it, but it's much better with fresh. Next is my secret ingredient, which is cane syrup. You're gonna love it. Alaga has the best cane syrup around. I sprayed this measuring cup with a little bit of Pam before I did this so that I could get all of that goodness right into the pot, but I'm gonna add even more. I just love this stuff. Okay, that's gonna make this thing sing. It's gonna be amazing. Along with that orange zest and ginger. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch. That's just gonna help it get a little bit thick. I'm not adding too much because you don't want a paste. Okay, and then I'm gonna squeeze an entire orange into the sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, and you know, it doesn't have to be just so precise. Just cut it, chop it into little bitty tiny pieces. Cooking's so much more fun when you don't make it too difficult, and you just do what you love. Just pound on this just a tiny tad and cut it, and in it goes. Okay, and actually, I find that the bigger that the garlic is, the less bitter it becomes and the more sweet it is. It's really interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that to a boil and then I'm gonna lower it to a simmer. Okay, so get those ingredients stirred really well. When it comes to a boil, turn it down to a simmer and let it go until it thickens. Now I'm about to make my fresh collards. Now, if you don't grow collards, you really need to start growing collards. They're so easy to grow and so easy to pick. The thing is, most people in the South that I know don't like to grow them because they have to bring them in and wash them and they have to get all the dirt off. I have a video for you on how to pick these with the minimal amount of dirt. But anyway, back to cooking. And I have a cast iron skillet, but you can use any skillet. And I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil into the pan, let it be getting hot, and a little bit, another secret weapon of a Southerner, and I think used within reason, it's okay, and it's a little bit of bacon grease. But any real Southerner is gonna want a little bacon grease, seasoning is what they call it, just seasoning, into their pan. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw these onions. This is about one small onion or a half of a giant onion, so it kind of depends. And again, you know, just do what you like, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead, put that in there and let that sweat. Add 2 cloves of garlic. If you can't tell, I really love my garlic. So if you're not a big, huge garlic fan, don't put it in there. It's all about what you like, okay? So sprinkle that over here. By the way, your orange ginger glaze is probably done. It only takes about less than 5 minutes to get done, so I'm gonna turn that off. All right, back to the collards. You're just gonna stack these up. And I've never packed a cigar roll, so I really don't know what that's like, but people have explained it that way before. You just put all of these on top of each other in a beautiful little bouquet. Be beautiful as a bouquet. Anyway, put these all together, and then you're gonna roll it up like you're rolling up a cigar. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll them really, really tight. And I'm gonna cut across into strips. The thinner you cut them, the faster they're gonna cook. And Southerners tend to really overcook their greens, which I like, I really do. But this particular dish, since I'm pretending that this is my starch, my noodles, I want them to be have a little bit of a bite. Okay, so all I'm doing is just putting them right down in the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt at this point, and a little bit more salt, because I love salt. Okay, and stir this up just a little bit, get it down in the pan, okay? Collards and greens are my best friend during the winter months when I don't get as much exercise. So I try to replace 3 of my starches a week at least. Like normally you could serve this over potatoes or sweet potatoes or rice, and it would be fantastic and be a little bit meatier, and I do that for the kids. But for me and my husband and anybody else, and you know what's inevitable is all the kids want this instead of the other. So you're just gonna have to grow some collards. So you can just walk out the back door, get the collards, come inside and cook them. And really, you could just have that as a meal. Be really good. Now for the pecan-crusted salmon. It's so simple. Just grind pecans, pepper, panko, parsley, and salt. It's that easy. Put your crust right into a shallow dish, and then press salmon right in. The salmon is gonna be so delicious. With that sauce, it's just gonna be killer. Okay, so try to get it all over as thick as you can. And this is about a 4 to 6 ounce piece of meat. For a great presentation, you could do an entire big, huge salmon fillet like this, just, you know, the whole thing. It would be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, now for the last part of this dish. It's gonna be fabulous. A little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter. The butter will help this to brown, and the olive oil will not burn. So, and the butter gives it a little bit of flavor. Okay, so make sure you've coated the bottom of the pan really great. I'm gonna put this flesh side down into the pan. Okay, and I love hearing that sizzle. You know that your pan is hot enough when you get to hear that sizzle. You'll let this go for about 2 minutes and then turn it over. Then I'm gonna cook it all right here on the stovetop, but you can brown it, turn it over, and put it straight into a 200, 300 degree oven and let it go for about 5, 6 minutes, and you know, until it's nice and flaky and delicious. So I'm gonna let that go for another minute. I think we're about ready to plate. This is gonna be amazing. And then for the sauce. Orange, ginger, sweet lusciousness. Look at that. That is gonna be so good. So that's the pecan-crusted salmon. For this recipe and others like it, go to my website, gameandgarden.com. I'm Stacy Lynn. See you next time.
Stacy